Welcome back home, Genevieve. It's time to get Bruce on the way so we can get this car underway and into the paint booth hopefully within the next 8 to 9 days. So it'll be a busy couple of days for me. I'm going to start with the interior, all in this box. Busy day. Busy day. It's bright. I'm sorry. It's good to have company. Okay, a couple of notes on what we did today. Well, first of all, it's dark, so the flash is out. Interior came out really easily. That just pulls out. That pulls out. These are easy. Broke a bolt on the mount there, which really sucks. This door, I'm surprised how just a few years makes such a difference on these cars. A few years of wear and tear. But this car being a 62, seems like it took a little more on the wear and tear. For example, this has a crack here on it. You can see. Oh, focus. There you go. It's split where the red spray paint is. I think it's nice that it's been marked for repair. I would like to fix that. A lot of flexing. The door handle basically moving in and out. That is the weak spot that shows the problem. On a lot of newer 240s, well, I say newer, they would have the problem with them splitting right about here. You know, other weak spots in the frame, things like that. Overall, I think that's the only big problem. Inside of here, I didn't see anything that stuck out too much. It's kind of fun having an aftermarket steering wheel. Came out without much trouble. Oh, what else? What else? This car had the lame carpet, which was just this stuff, which is cool. I think this is the first time it's ever been removed as I'm peeling it back. Fun to see that. Used to some WD-40 to try to loosen up the rust on those because, of course, all the moisture goes through. Those holes there, they go into the channel that runs along the frame. You know, it's a dry car for the most part. Oh yeah, all the coins that I got. There was 150 lira from Italy. This is 500 pesos. There's my 100 lira, 50 lira. A couple of parking tokens from UCLA. Somebody noticed those on the very first video I did for old Bruce here, which I thought was really impressive for the amount of time I spent on it. And then a couple of quarters. You know, things, the 1990, going back just a little bit from there. Nothing exciting really beyond those lira. And going into the engine bay area. Oh yeah, this trim piece. I have no idea how I'm going to mount this. I should say, having a great viewer base, it's really made restoring these cars a lot easier because anytime I have a question, somebody comes up with the answer. Like the fender holes, well, one of them's plugged up, but that's for that Volvo 122s for the early style. Of course, I've got 3 holes here for the mirror. I need to find out what kind of mirror was right for 62. And I need to find out how to mount this trim piece on again. It's got these tiny little things on here. I don't know if I can find replacements because a lot of the parts catalogs, oh man, where's my focus? A lot of the parts catalogs don't have before 1965 parts. Okay, and the Coupe wasn't really popular after, I think, 65. This is the channel where that otherwise trim piece would go. Since we don't have that here on the Coupes, it's just going to stick the rubber gasket in there. Inside the engine bay, of course, well, there's that crack that's going to be repaired there on either corner. Looks like I had a couple of problems. I think I saw in the service manual this was replaced a few times. But everything's good with this B18. I'm really happy with it. And I'm debating putting this on my B20. Is that a good idea, or should I just leave it with the other newer flame trap style? But I kind of like this, and maybe it makes a little bit of a mess as you're driving down the road, just adding to the petroleum problem. I'm thinking about keeping these running lights in addition to the Marshall, so I'll have 1 light there, 2, 3. That'll be fun. There's the magnetic drain plug. Oil, I need to put that back in. Oil's still draining out. And the coolant was pink. That was fun to see. What else? What else sticks out? There's not a lot of rust here inside of the battery tray, which is a really common spot. It's just water. Okay. It's nice removing that all as one unit. Okay. Finding the early style American bumpers is being kind of tricky because the overriders are I only see stainless steel replicas, which are typically a thinner gauge, made in Vietnam. Some barefoot worker working in a rudimentary shack. It's got the right tools and they got the right molds, but you know, at the end of the day, it's nothing like Swedish steel. Am I right? Okay, well, you know, cost-effective options. Interesting shock absorbers. They've got a little dip on them on that layer. I think that was interesting. I don't know if it's an additional dampener thing. Japanese brand. It's got the big sway bar. Oh yeah, it's got a big sway bar. How could I forget that? That's pretty cool. So, little TLC was put into this car. It's nice to see, and hopefully things go smoothly. I've got to remove the rest of the headliner, the rear shelf. I've got the radio up there. We're gonna retrofit it to take Bluetooth. Side exit exhaust, hilarious. All right, sooner or later I'll have to drain all the old Benson out of the tank, and dashboard looks pretty good. I'm going to keep this the original color, unless it's got a chip in it. But I'm thinking about keeping that the original color, and then kind of having it like a before and after. Like that will be the one panel that will stay blue. However, it might just be such an eyesore because it's not painted with the rest of the car with the new shiny, glossy, clear-coated blue, which I will be matching. So it'll be close, but it won't be like that. I'm talking so much. Oh, I'm thinking about just keeping this panel, the chassis number 214827. Thinking about just keeping that original because it will be here in the engine bay, and it'll be like the one little token of originality on this car, because a lot of it's just been redone. You know, like this red primer is sprayed all over the engine bay. Couldn't tell in the first video I made for the car because it was just so dusty. If you want a running and driving B18, this is your guy. Of course, the manifold's got a crack in it, but it runs and it's awesome. It's got a Weber carburetor, and you know, it's for one of those like get her back on the road situations. It's also a great restoration candidate. I'm sure it won't give you much trouble. Another thing worth considering on both cars is when I reinstall the screen on the cowl there, I'm going to put a mesh, because a lot of things are getting through the factory sized holes on that mesh, and a lot of crap is getting in here into the blower motor and then getting blown into the cabin. Of course, the big problem is the damage to the blower motor. So, you know, sand and leaves and things. Those are some pretty good sized leaves too. This is the first motor I've seen that actually spins freely. Lord knows it might work. Not as many spider webs as Arthur had, but different climate altogether. And the oil didn't look so bad. Yeah, that was original oil. These are French lights. They are, I forget the brand, but it's kind of cool to see that you can just pull off the front, replace the bulb, and get it all back in. A little bit of damage here. It's been tilted out, so we might want to get that replaced and have a good fitment, because the whole chrome piece was a little low and not lined up very well. Otherwise, nothing looks too bad. Of course, we're going to have to repair this nose piece here. Very confident in the ability of our shop to take care of that. Of course, Genevieve's still there, getting ready for some transportation. Actually, 2 days from now, she'll be at the shop. So we will get this guy in the garage. The city will be happy. I won't have old cars in the driveway. And instead of getting all the wires out through this way, because you can tell, that's another big thing, I've kept a lot of these on. You know, there's like these weird little ones. I don't know what this switch is for. I couldn't tell. But I'm going to do my best to try to get the wires out into here. Not a lot of aftermarket things were done on it. Oh yes, Mother's home. Hey look, a glove box. That's pretty rare. I need to get those wires out through there, which will mainly be all of these connections. So I need to document how they go in there, as well as this plug, which goes to both driver passenger side lights. All the wiring that's going to go to the starter, the brake switch, and over there. It might have actually just been easier to do that in the first place. So I think that's everything I got for today. Not bad. Oh yeah, the hood's got some problems here. You can see once we get our focus. There is flexing right here. You can see where it's broken off. There's a little bit of a split in the metal. I'm going to get all that reinforced because I want this hood to be solid. And put some WD-40 to get those things loose there, so I'm not stripping out any of the bolts on the aluminum for that nose trim piece, which I'm excited to have on this car because I got a nose on Arthur, didn't have it. Okay, great. See you guys in a few days with another update. Thanks again for watching. And next time we will pull the engine out. We'll pull the engine out. The suspension will stay, so we have a rolling chassis for the sandblasters, but there's our powder-coated axles. Actually, the front axle we'll probably put on Genevieve, but we'll explore our options once this is sandblasted, and we'll see which one will take what. And then we will have another rolling shell that needs a little bit of work. One thing I need to talk about on Genevieve before I let you all go, there is, see that little tube sticking out there? That was for automatics. I think it was the kickdown cable or the shifter, you know, the column shifter cable. So that is going to get replaced, and it's going to be flat, like over here. And it's been so nice having these cars side by side to compare all these different things, which is great. Also, this bumper's in really good shape. If I wanted to put more work into Arthur before selling him, I would just stick that on there. However, I don't have the time, so I'm probably just going to put Arthur up as is for the according price. Now I'm curious if this sway bar is bigger. That's pretty fat. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it is the same 25 millimeter IPD bar. It's about an inch, 25.6 millimeters. Steering coupler, some conversation. I told you I'd let you go, but here you are. Steering coupler, polyurethane is a good option for these guys. However, you do get a little bit more road feel on the steering rack on these later models. It's a two-piece breakaway. There are bushings that go in there. You can get polyurethane as well. And also on Genevieve, we have pulled all the chrome out, and we have it here. That's going to be re-chromed for the most part, or cleaned up if it can be cleaned up. I'm running out of space. There's too many Volvo parts in here. Of course, these plates need to get polished. Probably re-chroming the door handles on Bruce if we can't find replicas, because there's once in a while new old stock shows up, and you still need to find out how to mount this guy. You know, same situation there. The gauge cluster, probably going to be re-chroming that just because it's pretty heavily pitted. There you go. This one was made in 1966. There's a date, 27th of April, 1966. And the heater cable, this little guy, is no more. So we're going to either find an OEM style, you know, temperature gauge for that, or I can't believe I called it a heater cable. It's a temperature gauge. If we can't do that, we're going to put in an aftermarket. There was an option to put in a little SunPro gauge that works just the same. You know, it fits the same needle and the same sweep. Got some details on that saved in my Instagram. So we'll see what our options are with this guy. Now I got to make room, put everything away, and good night. Oh my goodness, this focus is terrible.